to be educated, but I'm so frustrated. Hello to my loneliness. I guess that ignorance is bliss. Take me back to before I knew. Rewind, take it out of cue. Innocence can be a young man's game. Signed up for the hall of shame. I wish I knew how much I miss not knowing.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Victor. I'm an RPN, a registered psychiatric nurse. I'm registered with the Nursing and Midwifery Board of Ireland. You're welcome to Mental Health Nursing 101. Once again, I want to say a very big thank you to LegacyTV Dublin for allowing us to use their platform, their studio, to start our own playlist, Mental Health Nursing 101. Please like, subscribe, and click the notification button so that you can view our future uploads. Thank you very much. Today, we're going to be discussing, or we're going to be talking about drug calculation in pharmacology. Drug calculation in pharmacology. Drug calculation is very simple and it can be very tricky as well, in the sense that you need to know two things before you can actually get them right. Number one, you have to understand the question, what the question wants you to do. That is one. Then number two, you have to know the basic knowledge. What do I mean by the basic knowledge? Few weeks ago, my daughter told me that their class teacher asked them a question, and she said that anyone that could get the question right, that she was going to give them a present. What was the question? The question was, if the time now is 4:55, in 5 minutes time, what will the time be? Very simple. And all of them were just trying to answer the question to get the question right. 4:60, 4 something, but they all got the answer wrong. Why? It is just because they understood the question, but they just don't have the basic knowledge of time. What basic knowledge am I talking about? That is the units of time. What are the units of time? Units of time says that 60 seconds equals 1 minute. 60 minutes equals 1 hour. 24 hours equals 1 day. 7 days equals 1 week. And 52 weeks equals 1 year. So, talking about the years, the months, the weeks, the days, the hours, the minutes, the seconds, those are the units of time. So, if the children understood the basic unit of time, which says all this, then they would know that 4:55, the 4 there is the hour, and the 55 there is the minute. Then the question says in 5 minutes time, that is +5. What will the time be? Some of the questions were, some of the students were saying the answer is 4:60, which it is right. But if they have the basic knowledge of the units of time, they would know that 60 minutes equals 1 hour. So this 60 minutes equals 1 hour, and that 1 hour, if you add it to the 4 here, it is going to be 5, then it will remain 0 here. The answer is 5 hours. That's going to be 5. But because they don't have the basic knowledge of this, then they got the question wrong, or they got the answer wrong. So today I'm going to tell you that for you to really get all your questions under drug calculations right, you have to understand the question, one. Then number two, you have to have the basic knowledge of the units of mass and volume. The units, you have to understand the basic units of mass and volume. What are the units of mass? And what are the units of volume? The mass one is going to be for the solid medication, while the volume is going to be for the liquid medication. This one is going to be for the likes of tablets and capsules, while this is going to be for the likes of solutions, liquids. For example, what are the basic units of mass? We have the gram, we have the kilogram, we have the milligram, we have the microgram, we have the nonogram, we have, and so on and so forth. And talking about the volume as well, we have the liters, we have the milliliters, we have the microliters, we have the nanoliters, we have like that. We have lots of them, like the decigram, we have the milligram, we have the centigram, we have loads. But for the sake of drug calculation, I think gram, milligram, microgram should suffice. In terms of liquids, the liters and milliliters should suffice. Now, for you to nail every question under drug calculation, I believe you need to know three things. Number one, you have to know the basic one. You have to know the units of mass and volume. Number two, you have to know the terminologies used in drug calculation. Drug calculation or drug administration. Just drug calculation. Used in drug calculations. Now, then number three, you have to know the formula. The three of them are very simple. I wouldn't lie to you. The three of them are very simple. The units of mass and volume, we have them up there. The units of mass and volume, we have them up there. But still, we have to know how to convert from one to the other. Like one, we have to know that 1 kilogram equals 1,000 grams. Okay? Then 1 gram equals 1,000 milligram. Okay? 1 milligram equals 1,000 microgram. You can still go on like saying 1 microgram equals 1,000 nonogram, but we don't really need that. With drug calculation, this is enough. Then for the liters, it's the same thing. 1 liter equals 1,000 milliliters. Then 1 milliliters equals 1,000 microliters. But I think with this one, we're okay for now. Now, if you want to convert from kilogram to gram, what do you do? From kilogram to gram. When you're going downstairs, you're going down, you're converting from the larger unit to the lower unit. So from larger to lower, you do what? You multiply by 1,000. When you're going from the larger ones to the lower ones, you multiply. When you're going from the lower one to the larger one, you divide. It's just like euro and cent, naira and kobo, something similar. You want to convert 1 naira to kobo or 1 euro to cent, you're talking about 1 euro equals 100 cents. So it's like you're going from euro, which is the higher denomination, to cent. That is, you're multiplying by 100. It's almost the same thing. 1 kilogram, which is the higher one, to the gram, you're multiplying by 100. But when you're saying from milligram to gram, you're dividing. That is 1,000 milligram divided by 1,000 will give you 1 gram. So when you're going from the larger one to the lower one, you multiply. When you're going from the lower one to the larger one, you divide. That is one that you're going to... I think we should take some questions under... that. This one says convert 3.25 gram to milligram. Convert convert 3.25 gram to milligram. We're converting from gram to milligram. That is, we're going downward. We are converting from a larger unit to a lower unit. What do? We multiply. We multiply by what? By 1,000. So if you're multiplying this by 1,000, that will be 3.25 times 1,000. Then in gram. How many zeros do we have? We have 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. All we need to do is 3.25, then 1, 2, 3. Then we have 0 here. So the answer equals 3,250 to milligram. Okay, let's do another one. It says convert 600 milligram to gram. That is 600 milligram to gram. So we're converting from milligram to gram. We're converting from a lower one to the higher one. What do? We divide. So equals 600 milligram to gram will be 600 milligram divided by 1,000. So that would be 600. How many zeros in 1,000? We have 3 zeros. Then from here, 1, 2, 3. That would be 0.6 gram. So 600 milligram to gram will be 600 divided by 1,000. It's the same thing. You can use your calculator for both. Like 600 divided by 1,000. 0 will cancel 0. 0 will cancel 0. 6 over 10. 6 divided by 10. 1 0 will be 0.6. 0.6. Another question says convert 20.25 microgram to milligram. That will be 20.25 microgram to milligram. What are we doing as well? Microgram to milligram. We're supposed to divide by 1,000. That will be 20.25 over 1,000. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So the answer is going to be 0.02025 milligram. The main thing is when you're converting from the larger unit, which is kilogram, to the lower unit, you multiply by 1,000. But assuming you're trying to convert from kilogram to milligram, then 1 kilogram equals 1,000 gram. 1 gram equals to 1,000 milligrams. So if you're converting from this 1 kilogram to milligram, then you have to multiply by 1,000,000. By 1,000,000. That is, you're trying to, let's say we are asked to convert 0.6 kilogram to milligram. Number one, for you to convert 0.6 kilogram to milligram, you have to first convert to gram, then from gram to this. So if you're converting from kilogram to gram, you multiply by 1,000, and when you're converting from gram to this, you multiply by another 1,000. That is, so you have to really know your units, your basic units of mass. You have to really know it. 0.6 kilogram to milligram will be 0.6 times 1,000, that is 1,000,000. That is 2 milligram. That will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Going forward, sorry, be 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 milligram. Okay, so let me go over this all again. Yeah. One kilogram equals 1,000 gram. 1 gram equals 1,000 milligram. 1 milligram equals 1,000 microgram. The same thing for the liquid. We have 1 liters. 1 liters equals 1,000 milliliters. Then 1 milliliters equals 1,000 microliters. I think that should be okay. You don't need kiloliters, though there is kiloliters, but we don't need that. So that should be okay for now. So like I said before, when you're converting from a higher unit to a lower unit, you multiply. And when you're converting from a lower unit, that is when you're coming down from higher units to a lower unit, you multiply. When you're coming from a lower unit to a higher unit, then you divide. What you're going to divide, it's going to depend on what you're converting. What do I mean by that? If you're converting from kilogram to gram, so 1 kg equals 1,000, so you just multiply by 1,000. If you're converting from milligram to gram, you divide by 1,000. But when you're converting from a kilogram to a milligram, then you have to convert first by 1,000 and by another 1,000. You have to multiply by 1,000 and another 1,000. That is a million. You have to multiply. So when they give you a question like convert 0.006 kilogram to milligram, if you're converting that to milligram, so from kilogram to gram is 1,000, and from gram to milligram is another 1,000. That is about a million. So you're saying 0.006 times 1 million. So your answer, you can get that by using your calculator really, but I'm used to counting the zeros, and if you're multiplying, you count the zeros, then that will be the number of steps that goes forward. 1, that is how many zeros? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then 0 here, 0 here, 0 here. So my answer will be 6, 1, 2, 3. That is to milligram. Yeah, milligram. But you can use your own calculator, 0.006 times 1 million. You can use your calculator for that, but I'm just used to doing that. That is that because you're converting from kilogram to milligram. But if I'm converting from kilogram to gram, it's just going to be only times 1,000. And if I'm converting from microgram to milligram, it's going to be divided by 1,000. If I'm converting from microgram to gram, it's going to be divided by 1,000 and by another 1,000. That is divided by a million. So we have to understand that. So let us go through some questions. Let us go through some questions. So the number 1 question says, how many microliters are in 3.5 milliliters? Look at that question. The only thing they're asking from you is to convert 3.5 milliliters to microliter. To convert, To convert 3.5 milliliters, that is, convert 3.5 milliliters to microliter, that is like microliter or MCL. So the question is, how many microliters are in 3.5 milliliters? What they want you to do is convert 3.5 milliliters to microliters. So 3.5 milliliter to microliter. That is, you're converting from the higher to lower. What do? You multiply. You're converting from higher to lower because microliter is higher than, I think this one will be 1 microliter should be 1,000 nanoliters. So if you're going from a higher one, from a higher milliliters to microliter, so you multiply by 1,000. That would be 3.5 ml times 1,000. 3.5, that would be microliters. So your answer is going to be 3.5. How many? You can use your calculator like I said, but me, I'm used to counting the zeros and going forward. So 1, 2, 3. That is 1, 2, 3. 0, 0 equals 0.3500 microliters. That is the answer for that one. Again, how many microliters are in 3.5 milliliters? That is, convert 3.5 milliliters to microliter. That is the question. So, if you want to convert milliliter to microliter, that is from the higher to the lower, you multiply by 1,000. So 3.5 times 1,000, that would be 3,500 microliter. That is that. Then number 2, that is number 1. Then number 2 says convert 3.25 gram to milligrams. That is convert 3.25 grams to milligrams. From grams to milligrams, what do? We multiply by 1,000. So that would be 3.25 times 1,000 into bracket milligram. That would be 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's 3.25, 1, 2, 3. That would be 0.3250 milligram. Simple. Number 3, convert 600 milligram to gram. 600 milligram to gram. 600 milligram to gram. So what do? Milligram to gram. So we're going from a lower to a higher one. So what do? We divide by 1,000. That would be 600 divided by 1,000. 1, 0 will cancel 0, 0 will cancel 0. That is 6/10. How many zeros? 1. Then 1 equals 0.6 gram. Please make sure you use your calculator. In the example, you are allowed to go in with your calculator. So for drug calculation, you can actually use your calculator. You don't need to calculate offhand, because when you calculate offhand, sometimes you may make mistakes, only if you are very good at mathematics already. So convert 20.25 microgram to milligram. Convert 20.25 microgram to milligram. So you're converting from microgram to milligram. Microgram to milligram. Then that will be, you're going from the lower to the higher. So you're dividing by 1,000. That will be 20.25 over 1,000. Please, you can use your calculator when you're in the exam or when you're doing a test. You are allowed to go in with your calculator when you're doing pharmacology. So 20.25 divided by 1,000, so equals how many zeros? 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. So that will be 0.02025 milligram. So that is all about that. Now we're going to, let's assume you have the basic knowledge of the units of mass and the units of volume for now. But don't worry, it might seem as if you don't know it yet. You can go over the video again, then you'll be able to get it. The main thing is the units of mass, kilogram, gram, milligram, microgram. To be able to convert from one unit to another unit, it's very easy. When you're going from a higher unit to a lower unit, you multiply. And when you're going from a lower unit to a higher unit, you divide. The same thing as the liters. So basic units of volume, the same thing, liters, milliliters, microliters. When you're going from the higher to the lower, you multiply. When you're going from the lower to the higher, you divide. Now, let's talk about the second one, which is the terminologies used in drug calculation.
To be educated, but I'm so frustrated. Hello to my loneliness. I guess that ignorance is